What a sensational performance from the Prague Lions, who not only go on to win in New York famously after a sensational double clear all weekend long. Look at the smile and the celebration on the face of Anna Kelnerova. She knows how important that is, and a third victory in the 2022 season for the Prague Lions. Compared to 2021, where they could not buy a podium, victories and performance are peaking at the right time for the Prague Lions, who now also take center stage in that battle for top four, already inside the top four, and now taking maximum points out of New York. They will be smiling all the way to Riyadh, knowing that just one event separates them and a GCL Super Cup semi-final spot in their hometown of Prague later on this year. We will unpack it all, we will look back at it all, and we'll show you just how there may well be some news that the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, are once again your new championship leaders. But by how many, we will let you find out in a few moments' time. We can confirm, though, that the Stockholm Hearts have indeed moved back to the top of the championship standings. Let's start then with them. Let's show you what proved to be ultimately a performance that saw them go top, but at the time, it certainly did not feel like it. Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, bringing in Malin Bayet-Jonsson, and she unfortunately had a fence going down. 4 penalties for Bayet-Jonsson in round 2. There we see the fault. There we see the 4 penalties coming down. Frustration for her, but Peter Frederickson making a horse change, moving on from H&M Christian K to Catch Me Not. And Peter Frederickson, again, unable to go clear, having a fence go down, picking up 4 penalties as well, this time in the triple combination, taking the team to 16. And at that stage, if you recall, the Berlin Eagles, powered by Fundichreisport, were coming into the afternoon on an overnight score of just 4. So they knew that they had 3 fences in hand. It felt like a huge amount of advantage to the Berlin Eagles, but they somehow threw that advantage away. Owen McMahon and Chakra not only having fences go down, but landed up picking up a time fault as well here. 2 fences going down, 8 penalties, and a time fault taking him to 9. And what that additional time fault meant was that Philip Weishout no longer had a rail in hand over the Stockholm Hearts. It meant that him and Kobe could not see a fence go down, otherwise they would automatically drop below the Stockholm Hearts. And unfortunately for Philip Weishout and for Kobe, actually in a very similar scenario to what we saw in Peter Frederickson in that combination once again going down. So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, going into the final event of the year in Riyadh, it means that we now have a 1-point game. The Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, lead the Berlin Eagles, powered by Fundichreisport, by just a single point. It will be a straight up shoot down between the Berlin Eagles and the Stockholm Hearts in Riyadh in the final event of the year. Prague Lions now overtake the Shanghai Swans and move into 3rd place. They not only are looking comfortable inside the top 4, but they now are moving in front of the Shanghai Swans, who we believed a couple of weeks ago were comfortable in 3rd place. So we will unpack more rounds for you. We'll give you ideas as to how things played out, and we'll also head back to New York, head back to Governor's Island, and show you exactly what is happening with the winners' ceremony as the top 3 teams in the Prague Lions, Madrid in Motion, and Miami Celtics now make their way out back into the ring once more as they prepare for the winners' ceremony, as they prepare to receive their medals, and as they prepare to celebrate. And remember, tonight, it has been an outstandingly good day for the Prague Lions in particular. 3rd win of the year, as we said, Peter de Vos and Niels Bruinseels. Peter de Vos making a horse change. Let's not forget that he too will be keeping a big eye on the Grand Prix later on tonight. From NASCAR in round 1 to Momstupi de la Rock in round 2, jumping clear on both days. Let's go on and join the winners' ceremony as we celebrate your top 3 finishers of New York in 2022.
Now they're going to stand on top of the podium once again. But first of all, heading up there in third place. What an amazing day it has been for the Miami Celtics. They only had that podium back in Paris, and now they're back on the podium here in New York. Paris was Jessica Springsteen alongside Edouard. Well, Edouard this time with Bertram Allen alongside him. Now Madrid in motion. Michael van der Vleuten and Angelica Augustusson Zanatelli. That is their 6th podium of the year. That second place, they've had 3 second places and 3 third places. Second here, Miami and Hamburg. Third in Doha, Cannes and Paris. That 6 is a new record for them in a season. But this is what it's all about when it comes to the Global Champions League. It's about standing on top of the podium. It's about winning. And out comes Jan Tops, of course, founder of the Global Champions League and the Longines Global Champions Tour, to make the presentation to the top 3. What a brilliant afternoon of entertainment and sport. Off come that, and the trophy's handed over. Like I said, they are the dream team for the Prague Lions, because this year they are the team, the duo, that have been able to bring it together. If you stand on the podium as a Lion, you stand on top as a winner. They back up what they have done already this year. They now move up a place to 3rd in the overall standings after wins in Saint-Tropez and Cannes. They win again here in New York. How exciting is it as they all head to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and to Riyadh in a few weeks' time, and then on to the playoffs in Prague as well.
We will head back for the winner's lap of honor in a few moments' time. For now, though, let's continue unpacking what has taken place in Global Champions League Round 2 from New York and Governor's Island. How sensational it has been to be able to have a Global Champions League take place here once again, to return for the first time since 2019. What about the Paris Panthers, who are trying to get back inside this top 4 hunt? Derek Kenny, 4 penalties in round 1. Ben Mayer, 12 penalties in round 2. It gave them an overnight score of 16, and they knew that they had to be far sharper in round 2, and sharp they were. Derek Kenny on Volney du Boudaville going on to jump clear in round 2, and Ben Mayer on Celtic HB going on to jump clear as well. Both men now will qualify for the Grand Prix, and both are very much in the hunt. Of course, Ben Mayer chasing the championship, but Derek Kenny still has points that he can contribute and continue chasing up the table as well. So from a Super Saturday perspective, those double clears from the Paris Panthers riders are crucially important for the LGCT overall championship. But from a GCL point of view, it was enough to give the Paris Panthers the provisional lead, a lead that they held on to for some time after the London Knights and Stockholm Hearts were unable to better their scores. So 2 clears from the Paris Panthers meant that they then stayed on a score of 16. Enter Shanghai Swans, Marlon Madolo Zanotelli. A 4 in round 1, a late fence going down, the last fence in fact. No such trouble for Zanotelli this time on the final fence, but there was an error in the double combination, seeing that fence go down. 4 penalties for Marlon Zanotelli. And Max Kuna, 4 in round 1. He was able to get out of the combination, and he was able to keep his score clean. EIC Cooley jumped the queue, jumping clear, keeping his score to 0 and keeping the Shanghai Swans now on a score of 12, giving them the provisional lead, of course, for GCL round 2. Now, Rome Gladiators were the next team to come out the gate, and they now knew that they had to go on and put themselves in a strong position. And unfortunately for Shane Breen and for Nina Malave, they were unable to keep it tidy. 4 for Shane Breen, 8 for Malave, and it took the Rome Gladiators to a combined score of 20 and took them out of contention. They were unable to try and keep the pressure on the Shanghai Swans, keep the pressure on the Stockholm Hearts. And unfortunately, their score of 20 saw Rome Gladiators unable to put themselves in a competitive position. Coming out of the Rome Gladiators, heartbreak and frustration for them in New York. But that then brought us to the leading teams. In fact, it was Miami Celtics on 4, and then the 3 teams that found themselves on the double clears overnight. Miami Celtics were the first to come out, of course, being on 4. Bertrand Allen going on to make a horse change from round 1, jumped clear in round 1. But unfortunately for him, a fence going down, 4 penalties for Bertrand Allen. Edward Schmitz then followed, and he was sensationally good in round 2, going on to deliver a clear, keep the Miami Celtics on a score of 8. And that score of 8 helped them take over the provisional lead, and they could smell a podium as Schmitz approached the final fence. Celebration from the kiss and cry, knowing that a podium was well within reach at a score of 8 penalties. But there were still 3 teams to come, and all 3 of those teams were on double clear, knowing that if they could produce double clears, the Miami Celtics might get kicked off the podium. Well, Prague Lions were the next to come out the gate, turning out to be your eventual winners today. But Peter de Vos and Niels Breinseels talk about an experienced combination. Only a single horse change for Peter de Vos. NASCAR to Momstupi de la Roque, delivering a clear in round 2. And Niels Breinseels still on Matador, delivering a clear in round 2, keeping them on a combined score of 0 and guaranteeing them a podium. Now it was simply a matter of how high they would move up said podium, knowing that Valkenswaard United were to follow and Madrid in Motion were to follow. And a big smile on the face of Anna Kelnerova. Could the 2 teams that then followed in Valkenswaard United and Madrid in Motion go on to knock Prague Lions further down the podium? Well, Marcus Eining came out first for the team, and unfortunately for the German veteran, he was unable to reproduce the clear of round 1. 2 fences going down in the triple combination took him to 8 penalties, and unfortunately that is how the German ended his second round on a score of 8. It did not leave John Whittaker much room, I'm afraid. There we see Mel, his groom, frustrated, heartbroken by the result, but out came John Whittaker, showing all of that experience, going on to jump a clear, keep Valkenswaard on a score of 8. But it was not enough to see them get onto the podium. That left Madrid in Motion, the final team to come out the gate, and they were trying to chase a quick clear. Well, Michael van der Vleuten, making a horse change from round 1, was unable to stay clear. And like so many before that we've seen in this competition, that triple combination again proving to be very tricky and causing to be his undoing. He then came home with a score of 4 penalties, and Angelica Augustin Zanotelli once again on Kalinka, jumping clear in round 1. And all of a sudden, Angelica clear in round 2 again, keeping Madrid in Motion on a score of 4, giving them their 6th podium of the year, meaning that they go on to find themselves on the podium. But is it enough to try and revive that top 4 hopes? You would imagine that that's still, especially with the victory of Prague Lions, is still very much out of reach. A reminder of how it ends in New York for the GCL. Prague Lions in first place, Madrid and Miami. So stay with us here on GCTV. We head back to New York in a few moments' time.
Courageous,
organized, dedication,
skillful, artist,
modern,
genius,
perfection. I trained to get in the right state of mind.
I am Peter Frederickson.
He has a lot of experience, a great rider.
Peter is really inspiring.
He loves to share his knowledge.
When you win, you're celebrating together. If it goes badly, you share it with the team. I like it.
But it's not so easy.
He has a lot of skills.
He had made the sport bigger in Sweden. The sport would be different if he wouldn't been there.
Biggest moment with the most pressure, he can stay so calm and so focused.
And that is the answer. How could it be number one in the world?
And this is pursuit of greatness.
The Enviro Green Blanket is made of non-toxic and recycled textile. It's breathable and gentle to my horse's skin. Very effective in isolating heat and regulating temperature. It's the perfect rug to support the well-being of my horse.
Lamisel. The future is green.
Shaped by emperors, authors, and artists, Prague is a city like no other. And the host of the 2022 Show Jumping Playoffs, a unique horse riding spectacle with the best riders of the season. Global Champions Prague Playoffs from the 17th to the 20th of November.
The big question now is, by the time we get to the Prague playoffs in November, which of these teams are going to be jumping in the GCL Super Cup quarterfinals? Which of these teams will be jumping in the GCL Super Cup semi-finals? Well, we now only have one event left to decide that fate. With New York done and dusted, only Riyadh remains for all of these teams to take as many points as possible, to win championships, to get off the foot of the tables, to get inside the semi-finals. How does it stand then at the end of New York? Well, let's remind you how it is finished this weekend. Prague Lions in first place ahead of Madrid Emotion and Miami Celtics. Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, down in 7th with a score of 16. What we cannot show you there is the fact that the Berlin Eagles finish in 10th place. So there is a point swap between Berlin Eagles and the Stockholm Hearts, and that means from an overall championship point of view that once again we now have new championship leaders, albeit by just a single point. Big news for Prague Lions, massive points haul for them, kicks the Shanghai Swans out, and they now move down to 4th place. Prague Lions leapfrogging them into 3rd. Falcons United, London Knights and Paris Panthers still trying their best to get back inside the top 4. But as it stands now, Prague Lions and Shanghai Swans looking very comfortable. But a good performance from Falcons United in Riyadh might change all of that. New championship leaders again, and one event left with just a single point separating the top 2. We can't make this up. We cannot write scripts like this. It's why you come to GCTV every single event. Stay with us here for more as the action continues on Super Saturday. We say goodbye to the Global Champions League and hello to the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of New York. It's up next. Stay with us.